Did you see it? Did you see the move of God on this show, Preachers of LA? Now, I know a lot of you were skeptical. I know a lot of you had some doubts. But that show is so anointed. Not only anointed, but double portion anointed. Not only double portion anointed, but triple dare you anointed. Now, one of my favorite parts from this show, and all the men of God on here just represented Jesus to the fullest, but one of my favorite parts on this show was when Minister Dietrick Haddon was talking with his fiance during, as they prepared to do a concert at Bishop Noel Jones Church. And he's giving his testimony. He's sharing how he fell from grace and how, he had experienced scandals and his wife and things of that sort. And he asked the Lord for forgiveness. But my favorite part is when the two were talking, him and his fiance. And he said these powerful words. He said, God put us together. And I know that just freed some people when they heard that. He said, God put us together. Now I know what your pharisaical, your hypocritical, your Sadducee, your long robe wearing, Bible quoting self probably thought. You probably said, well, how can God put together a relationship built on adultery? I know that's what you're saying. I know what you're saying. How can God put that together? They were fornicating and he was married before he was divorced. How can God put something like that together? And I'm going to tell you, you are looking at it from your natural eyes, and what the minister, Dietrick Haddon, was looking at it is from spiritual eyes. You don't hear what I'm saying. See, when you have spiritual eyes, you're able to see spiritual things. But when you look at it in the natural, you're just looking at natural things. What do I mean by that? I'm glad you asked. Now, I know what you're going to say. God hates divorce. I know what you're going to say. If you're married, you shouldn't get divorced and all of these things and blah, 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 and blah, 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 and blah, 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 blah. Listen, let me tell you what the problem with the church is today. The problem with the church today is this. A lot of you are going by some old word. A lot of you are going by the Bible. And there's nothing wrong with the Bible. But here's the thing. That's an old word. What you need today and what the body of Christ needs today is a new word. They need a rhema word. And that's what Dietrick Haddon was going by, a rhema word. See, let me break it down for you spiritually. Let me explain this. Marriage, a lot of people have an old covenant, old understanding of marriage. Marriage is a season thing, okay? It's a season. See, some people, their seasons are long, okay? They get married and until one of the spouses dies, they stay married, okay? That's a season. But what you have to understand is that God is doing a new thing. See, in the body of Christ, a lot of people upset say, it's so much divorce going on in the church. It's more divorce in the church than it is in the world and things of that sort. That's not a bad thing. Again, spiritual eyes, you can see that. See, let me explain something to you. God births new seasons in your life. See, God works by seasons, okay? Dietrick was in a season with his former wife, okay? But when he met his new wife, God began to work a new season in his life, okay? That's a new season. See, old season, old wife. old wineskins Jesus talked about. But see, when you spot you a nice looking young lady, you marry, and you begin to feel some type of way. Okay, that feeling some type of way is God moving in your life, telling you that I'm putting together a new thing in your life. See, you about to find you somebody else. You found the old one, but you about to find you a new thing, a new season, part 2. See, and that's what Brother Dietrick was saying. He was saying that God put them together because God put a new season in his life. And when God puts that new season in your life, you're gonna have you a new thing, okay? And that's what the body of Christ doesn't understand. People think it's a problem with divorce. It's not a problem with divorce in the church. The problem is people don't have understanding, okay, that there is a new season in people's lives. See, when people, quote unquote, commit adultery, that's just God working within them to get them into a new season. See, if they just stick with the old ways and stick with that old wife, they're never going to experience a new season, okay? And that's what the saints, that's why it's more divorce in the church, because the saints understand that there is a new season, okay? A new season. New marriage, new season, new thing, God is working. So that was my favorite part in that. And the show is just so anointed, so anointed. I just have to go, and I just want to say this: walk in your season. If your wife is getting on your nerves, okay, that's an indication that maybe God is moving you into a new season. You need to find you a new thing. If you're having problems and you see a fine looking woman at your job, and it's a new season that's coming your way. God bless you all.